Ay, 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 ay. Once again, it's your favorite amigo, Alex Ortiz from Sunset Homes Real Estate. If you haven't done so already, make sure that you subscribe to this YouTube channel, our Instagram channels. You can find that information here at alexortizrealestate.com, or you can call me here at this number and we can have a good discussion about it. All the information will be listed down below. Now, today's topic is on an article I read. You know me, I like to read a lot so that I can keep up to date on what's going on in the market, why people are buying, why people are selling, what might be some current trends. And it helps me to understand as not only a professional, but as a consumer. And also helps me to relay that information to my friends, family, and customers as well. So, and you might have somebody who might need to read this article as well. So basically, this article is saying that the age of first-time home buyers has been changing. And the people who are purchasing their first home is not the age that you're thinking. So basically, I'm going to run through it really quick, really briefly. I'll leave the article down below. It's very brief, but it's some good stuff. But it's saying that from 1981 until basically 2018, 2017, that the average age jumped from age 31 to age 47 last year, 2019, for first-time home buyers. Why, you might ask? Well, here's some things that I wrote down that I remember from this article. Number one, saving money for the down payment. Number two, the rental costs are too high, so trying to save money and then high rents can be a little crazy. Your debt-to-income ratio, maybe you have too many loans, especially student loans or car loans or credit card bills. Those can get in the way of you potentially saving money for your first home. You know, I get that. We all get that. Or another reason is, you know, people do want to stay in the location, but there aren't enough starter homes to get started. One thing that I've noticed is some people are not willing to make the sacrifice of maybe moving to the next city over, purchasing a home there, watching the equity build, or you paying off that loan, keeping it as a rental, and maybe buying your second house 5-7 years down the line when you're making a little bit more money. Now, I speak this from experience because when my sister and I purchased our first home, we bought a house in the next city over. We waited a while, then we sold that house and bought our next house. And that's something I think people are a little afraid to do. You know, they don't like the area, but hey, it's up to you what you like to do with your investment. I always think it's a great thing to buy a house, even if it's just a starter home in a location that you're not wanting to, but you know, that's up to you. Anyways, but there are a few things that I read here in this article that do help people overcome, which obviously, as a professional, I see it all the time. And number one is, you know, getting help from family with deposit. Hey, grandma might have some money that they're leaving to their grandkids, and you might ask grandma, hey, grandma, can you help me out with some money? Or your parents, or another family member that'll help you get started. Or number two, there are a lot of down payment assistance programs that are helping people right out the door qualify for a good amount with some good down payment money, and you know, they're able to get into their house. Now, once again, the article will be down below. Now, since 1981, what has changed is the average on how many people actually buy their first home and then resell and buy the next house. So it looks like people were buying their first home, their late 20s, early 30s, and then they would take that house, sell the house, and buy their next home by age 36. Now we're finding that that's actually happening at around age 55. Why, you might ask? Well, it's very simple. Maybe they weren't making enough money in equity. Maybe they bought too high, and the market took a while for the home to make some more equity. The interest rates weren't low enough for them to make that investment to move, or they just needed to stay in that house because their kids were coming back from college and needed to stay there for a little bit longer, and then they were able to sell their house and move on to the next one. So that's one of the reasons people were kind of saving or staying in their houses longer before they decide to sell that house and buy their next house. So age 55, at least from the statistics that what I've been reading, is the age where people are kind of like reselling, you know, after the kids maybe have gone or whatnot. So at age 55, here are some of the possibilities why people have actually been selling their houses and moving on. One, like we discussed before, they made some money with equity. So now they're able to cash out on the first house they bought, take that money and reinvest it into the next home. On top of that, interest rates have been phenomenally low. So they're either matching their current mortgage or getting something a bit better. And then let's see here. That's basically it. So that's something that I read today, guys. I thought it was some good information. Noticing that people are not buying their first home until later in life, which I think it could ease you a little bit. I think a lot of people that I see out there, a lot of friends of mine who maybe are in their early 30s, mid 30s, or even in their late 20s, they're stressing out. Oh my God, I can't buy a house now. Look, anything is possible. The truth is, you just have to get out there and try. The first step to buying your home is getting pre-qualified for a loan. Like, obviously, I want you to call me and talk to me, but you need to call your lender, whoever you decide to choose, interview the people, talk about different programs out there that are available for you and your state, your county, your city, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But obviously, I'd love for you to talk to me. We do have people who are qualified to help you when that time comes. But don't beat yourself up. Life can be a little bit hard sometimes. People want to save money, and sometimes it's been a little hard, and you got to budget that out, but it will happen. One thing I do want to remind you is always, don't be afraid, or I should say, don't be afraid to take that step and just get pre-qualified, just to see where the numbers are at. If it doesn't work for you at that time, at least you create options for yourself. You can say, okay, we don't qualify for the number that we want. What do I have to do to get there? Or number two, I can qualify for this amount. I don't really like it, but let's explore and see what the market is offering us at this time. Really, guys, in whatever you do, whether it's purchasing a house or doing other things, it's all about creating options. So I read that article to you today because I found that interesting, that people were holding on to their houses a lot longer, waiting till about age 55 to resell their house and buy their next house. And people are living a lot longer these days, and working a lot longer as well. Maybe not necessarily because they need to, but because they just like to, and work sometimes is just fun. You know how it is. So, anyways, guys, I'll leave that article down at the bottom if you want to read that for yourself. Click on the link. Once again, this is Alex Ortiz from Sunset Homes Real Estate with some helpful information. Take care.